Hello, everybody. Happy Tuesday. I'm super excited to be here for our last session here for the month. I hope you've enjoyed the week or the weekly live sessions and gotten some great information to help you continue to evolve your mindset around weight loss and some tools that you can apply right away. So today we're going to be talking about obstacles, strategies, and staying committed to your health and weight loss plans. So over the time today, I'm going to kind of dive deep into what are some of the common obstacles that we face, and then give you some ideas for strategies that will help you implement and move forward, hopefully make some progress, as well as some really, good information into kind of staying that course for weight loss. So I'm sure many of you have faced many obstacles in your weight loss challenges. I know that I have. And for a number of years, honestly, those became the reason why I wasn't losing weight. They became my excuse. They became kind of my mindset around it. And for a lot of it, it was kind of like accepted. Like maybe I just need to accept the weight that I'm at. Maybe I'm that unicorn that can't lose weight. And so for a number of years, I have to think now, I mean, I was fortunate that when I was younger, I didn't feel like I struggled with weight. I mean, I shouldn't say that. I think when I got into my 20s, I really had started to want to lose weight. Part of me wishes I was that weight and was thankful for it. But for me, my challenge and struggle started after having my second child and then not being able to lose weight since then. So she is 13. And so for 13 years, it's more where I have really would tell you I've actively dieted. I've probably been on a diet most of the time. The things I'm thankful for along that journey is that I don't give up. I am resilient. At the same time, I haven't made progress. I haven't found something that works for me, which is, I think some of my story, which is why I'm here today with you, is because I finally did find something that worked for me. And it was different than anything I tried before. And it was focused on mindset and all the different things that I talked to you about in the group and the trainings that I do. It's a very different approach than what I experienced in regards to weight loss. And the reason that I chose to do this is because I want to share it with other women that have found that they're stuck and that they're not finding progress with the other options out there, and they're kind of stuck in that yo-yo dieting like I was. So that's just a little bit of as we kind of think about obstacles, they can really stick with us for a long time. And obstacles are in all parts of our life. We can have obstacles in relationships. We can have obstacles in our business and our career, in our home that are stopping us. We're going to talk specifically about weight loss today, but think about, obstacles are around us all the time. And my hope today is we kind of think about some of those common obstacles that we might face, that I can then share with you some thoughts and some strategies to change your thinking there. And the goal in it is that you walk away with some new ideas, things that you can start to apply right away, and that we continue to rewire your brain as we think about those obstacles and strategies to find success in your health and weight loss goals. So some of the common obstacles that you might be facing in your weight loss journey is around time, right? I'm too busy. There's just too much going on, and I am always busy. And honestly, this is a big one for me. And I let myself it got the best of me this summer. I was telling myself, I'm just too busy. The kids are busy. I'm traveling a lot for work. And so what does that mean in regards to being an obstacle? Well, it becomes a frame of mind. It becomes an excuse when we are maybe eating out at a restaurant and it's like, well, I didn't have time to make dinner. I didn't have time to make lunch. And so rather than choose, the healthier option for us, it becomes an excuse to just eat the burger and something that maybe isn't helping us meet our goals or maybe not helping us feel good. But it turns into this much bigger mindset around that obstacle than just saying, you don't have time. I'm busier. Okay, so what can I do, to make those changes? Another obstacle is going to be emotional eating. I this is a little bit of my husband. Don't tell him I'm telling you this. But, at night he gets the munchies after we're sitting on the couch watching TV. And I think it's kind of a little bit of like a habit. He's trained his body and his mind, but it's a little bit of boredom. And I say that because, you're not necessarily bored, but you're finally sitting for the day, right? You're not actively doing things at work or at home, and you're finally sitting, and you can get a little bit of that boredom eating. And so that can become an excuse. Or I had a shitty day, right? I had a fight with my boss. I had a argument with my spouse. I'm sad, right? I'm missing a loved one that passed away, or I'm super stressed out. And so we use that emotion to really make it as an excuse, as like, I deserve this, or it becomes like an unintentional way of dealing with the emotion, at least for a little while, that we don't have to feel that pain or whatever we're feeling, because the food kind of subsides that and gives us joy or a dopamine hit, and we're not really dealing with the emotion there. So that can be a big obstacle. Lack of motivation. So, just not feeling motivated and not knowing how to find the motivation can become an obstacle. How do I work through that? What does that look like? Our mindset can be an obstacle. I'm just not in the frame of mind, or I don't know how to get my frame of mind there, or my life sucks, or everything else is sucking. I might as well, why would I start wanting to eat better or try to take better care of myself? And so that mindset can be a huge piece. You might not have the support that you need. Maybe there's, things going on in your home life or in your family or your friends that you just don't feel like you have the support that you need to make those changes, in your weight loss journey. The other piece can be, maybe you're in a season of life where maybe you have a new baby at home. Maybe you're traveling a lot for work. Maybe you have a sick parent. Like, there's just something that's not normal about what you're going through in the moment. And it becomes an obstacle. And like I said, an excuse to kind of use to, be against how are you successful, or how can you work through that? So when we think about, let's talk about some of those strategies. What would some strategies be that we could have in place? And the goal here that you walk away from this discussion today is that I know my obstacle, and I'm going to pre-think about some strategies that could happen. So let's go back to, where we were talking about emotional eating. What are some things that you can have, some strategies you can have in place if you have a crappy day? What are those things going to look like? Maybe it's, I know I'm going to call a friend. I'm going to, use my phone a friend, and I'm going to call them about my bad day. And I'm going to think through and work through it with help. Maybe it's just saying, like, I'm going to feel the emotions. I know that I normally grab the bag of chips or the ice cream, but I'm going to feel these emotions and I'm going to work through them. Maybe it's, you are going to divert the emotion, but you're going to go for a walk, or you're going to do something different than just kind of grab the bag of chips to avoid that. When we think about an obstacle about time, you still have the same amount of hours in the day. Maybe it's knowing, okay, I don't have time to make lunches this week. I'm going to go out to lunch. Here's some healthy options that I know I'll enjoy, that will be satisfying, but that will also help me stay on plan and continue to move progress through that. Or maybe that it's just a busy time with your family with kids' sports. And so you're going to maybe make 2 portions of burgers tonight, so that tomorrow night when your daughter has a soccer game, that's me, you're going to know your family is going to come home and eat those leftovers, versus easily just go to Pizza Pub down the road. That would be really easy to do after dinner, and already have a plan in place so that you have that easily there. So not only are you saving money, which I love, you're eating healthy, and you're not, also home away, because sometimes the easy option is to run to the restaurant. But then you're gone again, a whole another hour to eat and consume that meal and come home, rather than just coming home after the sports activity and being able to be together as a family and honestly just decompress from your day. So that's another idea of some strategies that you can have. I talked a little bit about the support that you have. So how do you find support in your life? How do you get that set up in advance? So those are some strategies. Your mindset, there's different ways you can work on that with different podcasts, listening to people, working on meditation, maybe prayer, and getting your mindset in the right place. I think coaches can be really great here. They a lot of times coaches will set that belief in you that you may not feel in that moment, but that, there's someone there that believes in you, and can be a really great tool and resource for that. And then the last one was around motivation. And so I'm actually going to be doing a live coming up here around motivation, but there are different ways for you to stay motivated. And some of it is keeping your kind of why in mind, understanding what your why is and being focused on that. The other part of that can be, kind of having like a set schedule in the morning. So like, here's how I get up for the day and here's what I do. And, there's actions in there, or maybe it's a set schedule after work so that you get your activity in, or you make the dinner you plan. But there's certain ways that you can follow up and have almost like some strategies and some plans in place to almost compel and start that motivation. Then you're building a habit around it, and it will come more easily. So my goal or my recommendation is that when you're kind of thinking about what are some of those obstacles that you might have, having some of these strategies in place will really help you work through those more quickly, and you're starting to train your brain. And through this process, you might have some discomfort because you're going to be challenging some of your assumptions. You're going to be thinking differently. You're going to challenge yourself for positive self-talk. And you're going to probably be introducing some new thoughts and some new habits there. And I encourage you to step into that growth and that uncomfortableness, because that's what it's going to continue to propel you towards your goals and rewire your brain. You're also nurturing a commitment. So you're staying committed to your goals and you're showing yourself that you matter, that you're making time for yourself and that you are following through on your commitment to yourself. And this is a big deal. Staying committed to who you are, staying committed to, I really want to lose this weight, or I really want to do X in regards to my health, and being committed to that and not letting everybody else come first that they normally do, or pushing it to the side. And I think that's a muscle that we build, and it also becomes easier. And it's really linked, I think, a little bit to that motivation that we talked about here just a little bit ago. It's also mind over matter. So you're kind of telling yourself like, hey, motivation, willpower, that self-sabotage, right? My mind is more powerful. I can control my thoughts, and I can control that outcome that I want to have, and I can do it. It takes time, right? It's not necessarily like I'm going to hit that number on the scale and then I'm done with all this stuff. It's accepting that, this is the lifestyle that we want, but, it's kind of saying like, I want this more than I want to continue to look or feel or whatever, you're currently in. And so it's really kind of forcing that mind over matter and continuing to rewire our brain and reframe our thoughts to really have a more resilient mindset. Turning setbacks into comebacks. So how can you take little things that you've learned, like, I didn't have a great day. Maybe we ended up going to Pizza Pub after the soccer game, but I went home and I journaled and I understood why I made that choice around having the pizza versus a salad at the restaurant or whatever that is. And I'm learning and I'm showing myself that, it's not a setback. I'm going to use this for my comeback, and I'm going to continue to learn. And I'm talking to myself in a loving way with more positive self-talk. I'm learning along on the way, and I'm applying it versus just either guilting and shaming myself and kind of like feeling crappy about myself. That consistency, we've talked about consistency being the key. Consistency really is the key to here. It's not having these big spikes and valleys like, I'm going to be overly restrictive and I'm going to lose a ton of weight. And then the next day, like, the day sucks, so I'm just going to binge a ton. And now, right, I'm having those huge swings and that inconsistencies, and I feel like crap and I feel guilty. How do we stay consistent? How do we make a plan for our, our food and the things we're committed to that's reasonable for me to commit to, that is going to make me feel good, and I'm going to make progress on my health goals, but that I can stay consistent with, rather than trying to commit to a health plan that's overly restrictive and makes us feel like it's hard and we hate it. And we're never going to stick with that. And of course we're going to fall off, and it's horrible. And then the last one is around celebrations. We've talked a little bit about celebrations before, but how are you recognizing your accomplishments? It could be small. It could be something super small. It could be like, I woke up 2 mornings in a row, or I was on plan for 2 days with my food. Like, those aren't small feats for sure. You know what's big for you. Like, celebrate those yourself. Celebrate those with family members. We're training our brain to recognize that progress and to recognize those milestones along the way. And then it gets easier because we're more motivated. We're seeing the progress, right? We're celebrating ourselves and we're celebrating with others. So what I want you to do going forward is, think about your week. Think about where you're at on your journey. What are some major obstacles that you face? What are some strategies you can have kind of planned out to help you work through those? You also might want to have obstacles and strategy discussions. And I do this with my clients. It's part of our program, actually. It's actually a big section that we focus on. So the obstacle might be, I've got a birthday party on Saturday and I don't know what the food's going to be. What are my strategies? It might be, hey, we're going out of town for the weekend. What are some obstacles I might have? What are those strategies? Or I have to travel for work, or, it's my husband's birthday coming up and I know he loves X, Y, and Z, and blah, blah, blah. And so just thinking about what those obstacles are and planning your week every week with that, and then being planful with, here are some strategies I can put into place here. And what happens is, over time, when you face an obstacle you didn't expect, your mind will quickly go to strategies, and it will start to do that automatically, versus you kind of having this big roadblock and having it like either stall you out or cause you to, fall off your plan and feel guilty about doing that. You're going to be more successful in doing that. So Identify the obstacles, come up with those strategies. I encourage you to embrace the discomfort, honor your commitment to yourself, and then lastly, try to be consistent in regards to your commitment to yourself. You're going to feel more fulfilled and you're going to make greater progress towards those goals. I'd love to hear how you're applying this and what you've learned from it. So please reach out and share, whether it's in the comments below or direct message me. And I really appreciate you spending these sessions with me for the month of August. I already have our sessions planned for September, and I can't wait to spend more time with you. Have a great rest of your day.